In the end, what separates a man from a slave? Money? Power? No. A man chooses. A slave obeys.
The scariest part of that line is how comfortable it sounds. For anyone unfamiliar with BioShock, that was Andrew Ryan, a businessman who fled to America to escape communism, only to decide that even America didn't go far enough. So he built Rapture, an underwater city designed to strip away government, religion, and moral oversight. No gods, no kings, just man. Ryan believed that if people were truly free, free from interference, free from restraint, they would naturally rise to greatness. They didn't. Rapture didn't collapse because of an outside enemy. It collapsed from within, from inequality, civil war, and most importantly, addiction. The city became dependent on Adam, a substance that rewrote the human body in exchange for power and pleasure. And here's the crucial part. Adam wasn't imposed on the people of Rapture. They chose it. That's what makes Andrew Ryan such a compelling villain. Not because his ideology was right, but because parts of his diagnosis were. He understood that control doesn't always require force. Sometimes, all it takes is desire. Which brings us to his most famous line, "A man chooses, a slave obeys." On the surface, it sounds like a declaration of freedom, a rejection of authority. But in BioShock, that line becomes a warning. Because in Rapture, obedience didn't come from chains or violence. It came from indulgence. People weren't enslaved by rulers. They were enslaved by what they wanted. And that's why this line still matters. Because it asks us a more uncomfortable question than whether we are free. It asks whether our choices are still ours once they're shaped by an addiction. Ryan believes he's defending freedom, but BioShock reveals something worse. Rapture didn't need chains. It needed cravings. Adam wasn't forced into anyone's veins. It was marketed. It was desired. It was normalized. It promised power, self-improvement, pleasure. And over time, the people of Rapture didn't need to be controlled. Their cravings did the controlling for them. And that's where this stops being about a video game. Because today, we don't inject Adam. We scroll it, we stream it, we click it. Pornography promises instant intimacy without vulnerability. Social media promises validation without effort. Both offer stimulation without restraint. And just like Adam, they aren't forced on us. We choose them. That's what makes this uncomfortable. Because when something is imposed on you, you can point to the oppressor. But when something feels like relief, like escape, like pleasure, it doesn't feel like obedience. It feels like freedom. The genius of BioShock isn't that it tricks the player. It shows how easily we mistake desire for autonomy. No one forces you to stay up until 2 a.m. scrolling. No one forces you to open another tab. No one forces you to keep consuming. And yet sometimes, stopping feels harder than starting. That's not because you're weak. It's because systems are designed to keep you engaged. The algorithms learn your impulses. The content escalates. The novelty never ends. And slowly, your brain adjusts. In Rapture, the more Adam you used, the more you needed. In real life, the more stimulation you consume, the less ordinary life satisfies you. That's the mutation, not of the body, of your baseline. Andrew Ryan believed that removing government and religion would free man, but he forgot something essential. Freedom without discipline becomes dependency, and dependency doesn't need chains. It just needs comfort. The most dangerous kind of slavery isn't the kind that hurts, it's the kind that feels good. Because a slave who knows he's enslaved might resist, but a slave who believes he's choosing will defend the system that owns him. BioShock doesn't accuse you. It doesn't shame you. It just asks a question that lingers long after the credits roll. If a man chooses, then why does it feel so hard to stop? And maybe the real horror of Rapture isn't that it was underwater, is that it looked so much like us. A man chooses, A slave obeys. The terrifying part? Sometimes they look the same.